Take deep breaths with mental chanting of Om. Come to the present moment. Forget about every other worry. Forget about every other pain. If this is your appointment with God, that special moment between Atman and Paramatman, soul and supreme soul, consciousness and supreme consciousness. In between is your Guru. Enter the cave of your heart and offer your adorations. Ignite the light, the oil lamp or a candle. There is effulgence of light. More than the light of the sun. But you are doing your special light offering to the soul within, to the Lord within the cave of your heart, to acknowledge and pay respects. Offer flowers, your beautiful flowers of your choice. There is fragrance in flowers. And offer tulsi ma to purify your heart and your mind and your body, your speech, your thoughts, and your actions, and offer it to the Lord within the cave of your heart. For, O Lord, I do not know any better. I make so many mistakes, but you always forgive me. Guide me and bless me to learn and to be pure, so that I can merge with Thee and continuously be in your companion. And may this illusory world, the temporary world, be only for the duties you assign to me, for the words you want me to speak, for the thoughts that you want to come in my mind and in my heart. For this is my special moment with you, O Lord, and our special moments with you. Be with us and bless each one. And we offer our humble Sashtang Pranams at the lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev, who abides in the cave of your heart. Each one of us, we feel that bliss and your blessings. Blessed self adorations. The mystery of the soul, Katha Upanishad, translated into English by Pujya Gurudev, Pujya Sri Swami Jyotirmayananda Ji Maharaj of Yoga Research Foundation, Miami, Florida. Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrasham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Saravadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Sadgurum Tam Namami. Adorations to the Divine Preceptor, who is the bliss of Brahman, the giver of supreme joy, the embodiment of pure consciousness, beyond the pairs of opposites, vast like the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond all modifications, beyond the pairs of opposites, vast like the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond all modifications. To that divine Guru, I offer my adorations. We offer our adorations. The mystery of the soul, Katha Upanishad, mantra number 13, day 23. So mantra number 12, we had concluded by saying or learning that it cannot be perceived by the senses and the mind, so it's beyond the mind and sense, means the self, the soul, because it is the basis of them, because of the Atman, because of the soul, these senses are there. So how can you go opposite? That you try to perceive your soul or self or Atman with the mind. But the self can be perceived by intuitive realization. When mind is purified by hearing the scriptures from the lips of a guru, reflecting over the meaning of the Upanishads, and meditating upon the nature of the self constantly, one rises above the limited function of the mind. So the mind is also vast, but you have to have that intuitive realization through hearing the scriptures from the lips of a guru and reflecting over the meaning of the Upanishads. What does Upanishad mean? Come sit near me and learn. And meditating upon the nature of the self constantly, meditating, inquiry first, who am I, where am I going, what is the purpose of this human embodiment, all this inquiry, and then you meditate upon the nature of the self, what does self mean, and things like that, and then attains the intuitive vision which reveals the self, means going inwards, not about everything in the outer world that you just imagine and think that that's it. The outer world is what gives pleasure, what gives joy, and nothing beyond that. So many people think like that. Otherwise, the self remains veiled by Maya. The self remains veiled by the illusion, the illusory world, and the divine illusion which hides the reality and reveals the self as something else in the form of objects that perish, whereas the self is non-perishable. But people think that, first of all, so many don't even know about the self, don't even know about the soul, and they think there's nothing beyond this life, nothing beyond this body. They think like that. But there are some who have so much illusion that even though they know a little bit that there is a soul, there is a self, but there is so much illusion around them in the mind that it covers the self, and there is nothing to be further known or deeper felt. And that illusion hides the reality and hides the reality and reveals that there's something else in the form of objects, like self or Atman is something else, like the form of an object that would perish. Conditions that are illusory and experiences that are ephemeral. So now mantra number 18. He who has heard this blessed instruction pertaining to the self and has meditated upon it will realize this supremely subtle Atman, that means the self. Those who are blessed enough and receive the instructions or listen to this satsanga or from anyone else, this satsanga on Katha Upanishad, satsanga on soul, on satsanga on other Upanishads that tells about the self. Once they listen, and not only listen, they listen, contemplate on it and meditate upon it. Those who do that will realize this supremely subtle Atman or the self. He attains Brahman, the supreme consciousness, the embodiment of bliss, and thus he enjoys while he or she is still in this human embodiment. O Nachiketas, verily the gates to the supreme abode are flung upon you. The self is the nature of supreme bliss. The pleasures that are experienced by people through these objects of the world are merely reflections of that infinite bliss brought about by the instrumentality of the mind and senses. These pleasures are like drops, while the experience of Brahman is like the ocean. So these experiences or the pleasures of the senses of this worldly material are like drops of water in that ocean, whereas the experiences of Brahman, the bliss from prayers, from meditation, from yoga, all these are the experiences of Brahman, which is like the ocean. You cannot measure the depth of the ocean. You cannot measure the quantity of water in the ocean. So that is how that bliss is, the bliss of Brahman. And you cannot measure that bliss. You cannot explain how the feeling is. So all is dear for the sake of the self. So everything you want is for the sake of the self. Therefore, the self is the embodiment of bliss. The self is the same as Brahman, the absolute. It is known through intuitive intellect. Therefore, it is subtle. Therefore, it is subtle. But for one who is endowed with dispassion and discrimination, That means you reject the world, you just don't like it. Just say, जब दुनिया फीकी लगे, when the world is no longer sweet for you, the world is no longer giving you joy, and you are able to distinguish the difference between good and bad, the gates of heaven are open. That means the gates of heaven are open for you. He can attain release. Nachiketas was such an aspirant. His intellect had developed an immaculate form of purity. He was not tempted even by the greatest and the best objects of the world. You know how much Lord Yama lured him with the attractions of the world and for thousands of years of life, but he rejected all. And then, having heard his own praises from the lips of Lord Yama, Nachiketas, feeling as it were shy about them, interrupts Yama, asking. So now, after hearing all this, then Nachiketas is shy about it, about all these praises. And he interrupts Lord Yama by asking a question. And I'll read this question. This is mantra number 14. But we will, maybe I'll complete number 14 today. So he asks, because it's a continuation, and the explanation can be tomorrow. So Nachiketas interrupts Lord Yama by asking him a question. This is mantra number 14 now, and the question is, please tell me about that which is beyond dharma. That means the virtues. All these dharma, we always say, follow your dharma. What are those good deeds that you should follow? What are those virtues? And adharma means the vice, the virtue and the vice. The virtues are the good and the vice are the bad actions, thoughts. So which is beyond the created and the uncreated. So moving above what was created by the Lord and what was not created. So which is beyond the 3 periods of time. Another big portion of that question is past, present and future. What is it that is beyond the past, present and future? Please tell me about that which you behold as the truth. So he, Nachiketas, brings Lord Yama into a ring that he cannot even come out of it. He asks him the questions in such a clever way that cannot be sneaked out. So Nachiketas asks, O Lord, if thou art so pleased, please explain to me the nature of the self. So now he's saying, if you are so pleased with me, then tell me about the nature of the self. O Lord, if thou art so pleased, please explain to me the nature of the self. It is most difficult to understand because it is beyond dharma. He's saying it is beyond the virtues. All attributes of objects. It is beyond all attributes of objects, beyond all conceptions of virtue, and also beyond adharma. That means it is also beyond all conceptions of the vice. and also beyond adharma, all conceptions of vice. So it is beyond dharma and adharma, beyond the virtues and the vice. Virtue and vice are relative conceptions of the mind. Brahman is beyond all mental conceptions. So all objects, physical, astral, and mental. Remember we have three bodies? Actually, it's the physical body, astral body, and causal body. But within the astral comes this mental. So astral and mental are evolutes of Prakriti, are evolutes of Prakriti. They are created while Prakriti is uncreated. The physical, astral, and mental are evolutes of Prakriti. They are created while Prakriti is uncreated with reference to objects that are created. Brahman is beyond the unmanifest Prakriti, the subtle cause of all, the balance of the three gunas or the three modes. Brahman is beyond time as well. So at this, Lord Yama explains. So here so many times we have these questions also, wanting to know deeper about it, and therefore we have these questions, and then Lord Yama will explain this in mantra number 15. So let's explore that tomorrow in our next satsanga. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु, समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु. ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु, सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु, सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु. ओम कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरे परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. ओम त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात्. ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Divine love, light, peace, prosperity, healing to each one of you and your near and dear ones. May you all heal, may you all have equanimity, and may you all flourish as you walk on the path of self-realization. Shakti, Bhakti, Mukti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.